today we are going to understand the difference between vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Now, most of us think that both of the words are same and they are used interchangeably every day, but they are not the same. So what we'll do is let's try to check it out with an example. You see, you wear helmets, right? So have you ever wondered how helmets are being tested? Okay, so it's very interesting because I could imagine someone really wearing my helmet that I bought and trying to actually fall off a scooter to check whether it actually works or not. Is that the way the testing is done? I am not really sure. Probably they have a quality checked sticker on it, which means that because one of the sample of the lot was following a particular safety and security guideline, all of the helmets in the particular lot or batch are the same. Well, for software, however, the system is little bit different and it will not work in the same way. So, we have in application security, we have a different challenge. The first challenge is that there's a large attack surface. As soon as you upload an application on a server, it is being accessed by thousands of people. Some of them you might be having as your users or subscribers, but many of them you don't even know that. And what is more important is that if there is a particular vulnerability on your application which has been exploited, it is going to affect each of these thousands of the users. It is very much worse than actually detonating a bomb, because the effect of the attack could be remotely at any part of the world. Another issue would be that obviously remote exploitation can be possible, because it will not be necessary that the attacker needs to be in physical network where your application is residing, which means any kid from his bedroom can actually try to exploit it. And finally, the biggest issue is people do not know that they have been attacked until unless you see some particular page where it is written that your website is hacked, or you try to find out some suspicious behavior of your application or server and you try to manually inspect it. You do not really have a way to find out whether the application has been attacked or not. And this is the reason why application security poses a huge risk. That's why people actually go for some things like vulnerability assessments or penetration testing. But here we are sitting here today to understand they are not the same. So the first line, vulnerability assessment is not penetration testing. Why? Let's check out. I just tried to pull out a little bit of differences between VA and PT. Let's call it for short. So first thing we classify is by the coverage. See, a vulnerability assessment is something that covers a wide area of your network. In fact, it should cover your entire network. And it will give you a list of the vulnerable devices or the applications which are installed in a particular device on your network. You have a whole list of vulnerabilities. Now, you see, having a list of vulnerabilities does not mean that you will be hacked. But it means that you have a hole which you need to patch. You could be hacked. However, a penetration test goes deep. It goes a step further, or maybe a couple of more steps further, to identify how a particular vulnerability could be exploited. So the VA would actually target a large set of hosts or your entire network, whereas a PT would probably target a specific host with a specific vulnerability and try to gain access to it. For example, let's say if you are a financial organization, the output of a vulnerability assessment would be to identify security loopholes in the organization that would put the organization at risk. Whereas the goal of a penetration test would be different. It would be to identify whether, if or not, a particular hacker can break into your organization in order to cause some harm, like stealing data or deleting something or something like that. And that's why vulnerability assessment is best performed in-house, that is within the premises of your organization. That makes it super fast because you've got direct access to all of the network resources, and also it is very quick, which means you get results sooner than what you expected. Penetration testing, however, is something that would have been done from an external network, because we need to know what an external hacker visualizes your organization is. We need to find out all of the security holes that could have been exploited by the person. We need to check and then double check if the security holes or the vulnerabilities that we find out are actually exploitable or not, because as I said before, having a vulnerability does not surely mean that you might be able to exploit it. So obviously, because a penetration test requires a lot of effort, it will obviously require a large amount of skill compared to a VA, because you have to do it remotely and you have to use some advanced techniques and all that stuff. And that's the reason why a penetration test costs much more than a vulnerability assessment. So you will ask me, what is better? Should we go for a vulnerability assessment or should we go for a penetration test? Let's see. So the bottom line of this talk is, you should go for a penetration test if you need to check if your security can be breached by hook or crook. The output of a penetration test in my terms would be a Boolean output, whether it means whether you can be hacked or whether you cannot be hacked. Okay, how you are hacked, that's another thing, because there might be 1,000 ways for a particular person to break into the organization. But the point is, you keep on trying until the organization is foolproof, in which the penetration tester is totally incapable of breaking into it. Right. A vulnerability assessment, however, is something that you would require if you do not have any security experience in the team and you are just starting fresh, or maybe you are going for a periodic review of the security of your organization. You want a bird's eye view. You want a whole idea of how the security of your organization is. So if you want something really very quick and something that gives you a complete picture, you should go for a vulnerability assessment. If you want a really detailed view and you have a lot of time, you should go for penetration test.